I put out a video prompt saying overhated songs. Give me your most overhated songs / artists, and I'll go over them tonight on stream. And this is a video that I've been wanting to do because it's time to defend people who are desperately in need, okay? There's the artists out there that get too much hate. I'm looking at people like Weezer, maybe a little bit of Nickelback. I kind of understand the Nickelback hate a little bit and the post-grunge, but I feel like they get too much at times. So I wanted to go over to see what are the most hated artists / bands / songs that don't really deserve it, or maybe they do deserve it. I'm looking to defend today, okay? I'm looking to make this a positive video to defend people who desperately need it, okay? So let's see. So we got a bunch of comments here. So first one is Buddy Holly by Weezer. This is actually a very funny one that I recently just was learning on guitar and playing on guitar, and I couldn't agree more. So overhated when there's incredible part. And overall, just Weezer. This is gonna be like a Weezer rant video because overall Weezer gets way too much hate. All right, Weezer has some of the most talented pieces and parts out of like a bunch of bands in the 90s. It's because they kind of present themselves as more being nerdy guys and not really taking themselves that seriously, which I feel like is the reason why some people don't take them as seriously as well. But there's a certain appeal to that, and some of their melodies and harmonies and even riffs sometimes are unmatched in catchiness. This pre-chorus, that's just so good. And that little like guitar melody back, it's so cool and it works so well over the melody. That's so good. I'm not sure how much in particular this song is hated though. I'm not sure if, but it's more of like the concept of Weezer, but I feel like most people kind of can say for a lot of, especially in the Blue album, that certain songs in the Blue album, they're like, okay, you know, maybe I'm not big on Weezer, but Blue album has some great ones. And I feel like Buddy Holly, kind of one of it is one of those examples. And of course there's this part, you know, unfortunately it's been turned into a meme, but this was just an awesome part of this song. Wait for it, wait for it. It's good. It's so good. No amount of memes or propaganda can make me hate that. That's cool. That just sounds great. Limp Bizkit in general. Yeah, some of the content hasn't aged well, but their songs tend to be pretty fun, memorable, and full of personality. You know what? As a representative of Limp Bizkit real estates, I agree with this. All crimes against humanity that Fred Durst has committed are simply forgiven for just being funny. He's hilarious. This intro to Chocolate Starfish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chocolate Starfish! And the hot dog flavored water!
Oh, hell yeah.
Get the fuck off! Yeah!
It's so fucking funny. This is not hated enough. How could you hate this? This is the coolest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Limp Bizkit is a 10 out of 10 example of overhated. And the farther you go down the Fred Durst pipeline, you start to realize how cool he is. High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Come on, man. They deserve everything and more. Okay, this is an interesting one. Coldplay in general. Yellow and Hymn for the Weekend in particular. I do like this one. This is an interesting one to talk about. So Coldplay, it's a classic example of, you know, they started off with some really good and interesting music that even I enjoyed, you know, and I still go back to Yellow in particular. Not really Hymn for the Weekend, but even Viva La Vida, you know, that was a classic one. But unfortunately, they switched into some like real pop slop that I can't listen to. It's like unlistenable for me.
Your skin, oh yeah, your skin burns.
So atmospheric, beautiful guitars in the background, awesome backing, vocal melodies. This is so good. This creates such a good sound. But then, if you go to more modern day, okay, that was 2000s. What's a good example to represent newer age Coldplay? Play the BTS collab. They did a BTS collab. Coldplay did not do a BTS collab. Stop.
Never ending forever, baby. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first.
There's just zero energy, zero passion, just 100% radio slop. Bro, and they had it all. They had the world at their fingertips. They were these guys.
I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman Catholic choirs are singing.
What went wrong? classic song, incredible song, a music video that actually has some style to it, some character. The dream is dead. So sad. So that's what just makes it even more depressing. Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. It's a fun song, but all I ever do is see hate for it. There's a certain genre of rap songs like this that I feel like get too much hate, but they're just fun. I understand like why people have like this kind of corny aspect to it and like why they don't like it.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
The main reason that this got so much hate though was because of the sample, right? It was like, how could you do this to an iconic Queen song, you know?
Dance, rush the speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly. When I play it.
It's fun though. It's fun though. I know it does use that iconic bass line, which I can understand why people would be mad at. But I feel like overall, it's just fun. It's fun.
Ice, ice, baby.
I really do get the annoyance of the bass line, but I think it's way overhated. This is like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 overhatedness. I guess the most annoying part is when you get like someone younger who only knows like that bass line from this song, Ice Ice Baby. That's how I can understand how people be very frustrated. Where it's like someone plays that bass line, they're like, oh, I love that song. I love Ice Ice Baby. It's like, dude, that was me. Oh man. I'm confused by this one. Creep by Radiohead? Is this hated by anyone? The only time I've seen people hate Creep by Radiohead is by really hardcore Radiohead fans that just view Creep as like a normie Radiohead song. I think those are like way too online or weird people who like have an issue with Creep. Creep is an iconic fucking song. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. That's like a 0 out of 10. I don't know. I've never seen like anyone hate that. Heat Waves by Glass Animals. It's definitely not one of their best songs, but I feel like people judged it too harshly after it started getting overplayed. Oh, it's this song.
Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now.
Yeah, what this is going to come down to for a lot of these, and this one is the best example of it, is like how overplayed it becomes for someone. You know what I mean? And like how annoying it gets, because like a song like this obviously got taken over by a bunch of TikTok sounds, a bunch of like edits where it got used for like slowed and reverbed or whatever. So that's kind of what it's going to come down to. Like I've never heard this like whole song, so it's not as overplayed for me. I've only heard it in edits, so I don't get the hate as much, but I can understand someone just being like, dude, shut this shit off. So I have been seeing this a lot. Doechii. I've heard the industry plant thing too many times. She isn't a plant. She made 2 critically successful mixtapes before signing to one of the biggest labels in hip hop. Yeah, this is something I've been seeing too that I haven't really been understanding. Like even though I haven't been that tapped into, I'm overall not that tapped into the hip hop scene in the first place. Everything I've seen from Doechii, it's from people like acknowledging that she's doing something a little bit different or whatever, or something a little bit more artsy. As opposed to, I feel like when most people call someone an industry plant, it's more that they're putting out like pop slop type of radio songs. So I don't really understand this thing I've been seeing about Doechii.
Remember old dude from 2019, nice clean nigga did me dirtier than laundry.
And I think especially just in the female rap scene, from what I've seen, she's such a unique standout because it kind of is brutal, man. It kind of is brutal. All right, the female rap scene is kind of rough. The Sexy Reds, the Glowrillas, maybe it's just me, but I really don't see anything that crazy or unique about those people. Then Doechii's coming along, and I feel like this is clearly like a difference in skill and talent. Yeah, like a breath of fresh air for female rappers, totally. Father of All by Green Day is overhated. Hey man, I say this as a Doechii, an American Idiot album in the background enjoyer. It's not hated enough. Okay, maybe it is hated enough, but it 100% deserves it. Man, that was brutal. And the advertisement campaign around that too was so cringe. Weren't they putting up like billboards? 100% true rock and roll, no Swedish songwriters in promotion to that album. I think Green Day overall as a band does get too much hate because a lot of people say stupid shit about like selling out or whatever. And I just think that's silly. I think, you know, obviously as people mature and as they grow up, they're going to change their mind, or they're going to like want to do different things with either their sound. I think it's just a very tired talking point that people love doing in like the punk or punk pop scene, where it just feels immature and obnoxious. Oh, this is a really funny one. Bad Girls Club goes unironically hard. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're getting into some really tough decisions here. Fashionably Late, the Game Over album. All right, you know what? Let's give this a fair shake. I haven't heard this song in a long time. Let's give it an honest listen, and let's see.
I met a girl
Okay, fuck off. No. I completely forgot what song this was. Okay, this guy was trolling, right?
It was a fail, to no avail. I'm just another victim of the bad girls club.
Man, what was this guy on with this album? These video game synths are just a new level. I am victim to having some guilty pleasure songs that I do like from Falling in Reverse, back in the good old days, back in the drug in me is you days. Even though they are extremely corny, I do like the way it sounds, I've got to admit, but this one's a little bit too much for me. I was going into this trying to be positive. Okay, I don't think I could defend this one. This probably deserves the hate for the most part. You don't get it, bro. It's supposed to sound bad. Friday by Rebecca Black. That's a classic, very hated song. I haven't heard this in a long time, so I actually, you know, I'm looking at this with fresh eyes. Was it as annoying as it was perceived to be?
Gotta get down to the bus stop. Gotta catch my bus. I see my friends kicking in the front seat, sitting in the back seat. Which seat can I take? It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
Unfortunately, she kind of has like this, what is it, like nasally grating voice a little bit that I feel like is like the core of why people dislike this so much. Like this nasally unlistenable feeling that I genuinely, I forgot about. I didn't know it was like Friday. Like female nerd emoji voice.
Partying. Fun. Looking forward to
I need to be Rebecca Black's lawyer right now. I gotta figure out a way. How do I defend this? You know, guys, you gotta take into factor, she was 13, okay? She was just coming up on the scene. She just wanted to make a goofy song. She's just making a goofy song. You know, her nasally voice is because she was 13. She was just a kid. You can't really blame her that much. And for this to follow her for the rest of her life, it's truly just, you know, unethical and messed up, to be frank. All right, guys. I deem Rebecca Black innocent of all crimes against humanity. She is overhated. It is a brutal song, I do have to admit, but I'm gonna say like this is like a 7 out of 10 example of overhated. Shaboozey, a bar song. For some reason, a lot of people hate it, but I just vibe to it. I know this is a very popular song, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna disagree in like watching the normal video, but this song represents like a core problem, I feel, with modern music or whatever. I just feel like there's no like personality or anything to this song.
Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. It's 9 to 5, ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone.
I just feel like this song was created in a marketing boardroom where it's like, how do we appeal to the everyday man? Well, let's bring up 9 to 5. People work 9 to 5s, right? All right, let's talk about the struggles of like providing for a family. Okay, we're in a relationship, let's say. Your girlfriend's asking for a Birkin, okay? She's got a high order on you, okay, to provide for the family, to buy her stuff. And you know, gasoline and groceries, you know those are getting expensive these days, right? Everyday man. It just feels like it was created in a marketing boardroom with no personality at all. This is more content to me than it is an actual like expression of arts.
There's a party downtown near 5th Street. Everybody at the bar getting tips.
Like everything about this song. From listening to this song, I don't know anything about Shaboozey, what like the sound Shaboozey wants to go for. I feel like Shaboozey, given listening to this song, can literally be replaced by anyone. He doesn't strike me as a person when I listen to this song. It's more of just like someone used to get across this marketing idea. Yeah, like corporate made slop. So honestly, stuff like this, I think stuff like this should be like looked down upon in the industry. Unfortunately, it's gonna be very successful, and this has been a very successful song, but in my ideal world, personally, just in my personal opinion, I think this should be looked down upon. We should encourage people to be less corporate sounding. So this is a 0 out of 10. I think this deserves everything. I refer to the stuff as mass appeal / corporate music made to maximize profits for the specific niche, nothing more. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I feel like that gets across the point perfectly. Radicals by Tyler, the Creator is super overhated, more so Tron Cat though. Oh boy. So we're going to the Goblin era of Tyler, the Creator. I assume we should do Tron Cat because Tron Cat's the one that got him banned from countries, from flying to certain countries, wasn't it?
I'm not a rapper nor a racist. I fuck bitches with no permission and tend to hate shit. Brag about the actions in a rhyming pattern, mad, and then proceed to sat her down when I go splattering her chatterbox. It's the type of shit that make a Chris Brown wanna kick a whore.
Yeah, like lines like that are just so try hard. You could just tell it's like this 19-year-old. I think he was like around 19 to 21 at this age, who's just like trying so hard to like have an Eminem impression of like with shocking lyrics. This is the type of shit that make Chris Brown want to kick a whore. It's trying so hard.
I wanna be the reasons why all lesbians hate dick.
I have a soft spot for Goblin, but unfortunately, listening back to this stuff, it's so brutal. But you know, when I was younger, as a kid, I would throw this on, and I would think it's a lot better than I think it is nowadays, so I have a soft spot for it. I have to admit my bias. Yonkers is still an incredible song. I like Yonkers. That's a very fun one, but some of these other ones are like nearly unlistenable.
Honey on that topping when I stuff you in my system. A pregnant bitch and tell my friends I had a threesome. You got a fucking death wish, I'm a genie, it'll get done.
Yeah, I think that was the line that got him banned. They got him banned from countries, I believe. It was this song. I think I might have to like middle the road this a little bit. I'm not sure. I feel like people might go a little bit overboard with clutching their pearls at this song and like acting like, oh, this is so offensive. When it's just like, dude, it's just like this 19-year-old guy clearly saying like random shit, the most edgy shit he could think of for attention. So you're thinking of it like way too deep if you're really getting very angry at this. But also, it's just bad. Like it's just very bad and try hard and edgy and cringe at the same time. So I'm kind of like 5 out of 10 on this. I'm kind of middle of the road, to be honest. Oh fuck, we haven't done Nickelback. I can't do this video without Nickelback.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes...
Man, what happened with the vocal effects on this album though? Do you hear these vocal effects?
This is where I grew up, and this is where I went to school. Most of the time I had better things to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is like a prime example of one of the more popular and extremely corny songs. And you know, other songs have been corny with their writing by them, but at least it was carried more by a better melody and it was more catchy. But unfortunately for me, this song really doesn't do that for me. Yeah, like these vocals feel so processed, yeah. I like How You Remind Me by Nickelback, but stuff like this, I can't do at all. I would say I'm kind of teetering on too overhated. I do think it is too overhated, and unfortunately a big part of that was just another instance of being way too overplayed. Like this was all over the radio, and that's what destroyed them with like a lot of people. It made them very annoying to people. But if it just wasn't as overplayed as much, I feel like people wouldn't have as much of a problem. And also being part of the post-grunge movement, which is one of the most hated eras of music of all time. But overall, I am teetering on a little bit too overhated, and I will say it's like a 7 out of 10. But yeah, all right, that's what I would say is overhated bands, artists, songs. There you go. Did we capture it? That's going to be it for the segment, for the video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, or whatever. There's plenty of other different segment prompts, things you can check out. There's a whole playlist for it. Something will pop up on the screen right now. So yeah, thanks guys for coming out, and I'll see you in the next one.